Hi, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever been in this situation? You gave a woman effort, attention, and genuine interest, and she barely appreciated it. You texted first, you made the plans, you showed consistency, and for a while you thought she noticed. But slowly, you realized she enjoyed your attention more than she valued you. Some days she was warm, other days she acted distant. And even though you cared, something inside you started shutting down. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, but because you finally chose yourself. At some point, you stopped trying so hard. You didn't wake up thinking about her first. You didn't rush to reply. You didn't sacrifice your time just to get breadcrumbs of attention. Maybe you hit the gym. Maybe you worked on your goals. Maybe you just got tired of being the only one trying. But the moment your energy shifted, she felt it. Women are highly sensitive to changes in effort, tone, and attention. They notice when the man who used to chase suddenly moves differently. You didn't have to say a word. Your silence, your calmness, your lack of urgency said everything. And just like that, she started acting differently too. Maybe she started texting more. Maybe she asked if you were okay. Maybe she suddenly wanted to see you. Or maybe she tried to trigger jealousy, gave you attitude, or acted like she didn't care. But here's what matters. Every reaction is a window into how she really sees you. Welcome to the channel, gentlemen. Today, we're talking about how a woman reacts when she realizes you lost interest. This is something most men never get to see because they panic the second they feel distance. They chase harder, they over-explain, they ask questions like, "Did I do something wrong?" And the moment you do that, you lose your power. Because women don't respect a man who begs for attention, they respect a man who respects himself. When you pull back, when you stop trying to prove your value, you force her to confront reality. She has to decide whether losing you matters, and her reaction shows you everything: her respect level, her interest level, and whether she ever saw your worth in the first place. So stay with me all the way through this video. Each reaction you are about to learn will help you understand exactly what her behavior means and what you should do next. By the end, you'll know who deserves access to you and who doesn't. 1. She suddenly shows interest. When a woman realizes you lost interest, the first and most common reaction is suddenly increased effort. The same woman who was slow to reply, hard to see, or emotionally distant can flip her behavior almost overnight. You'll notice her texting faster, asking more questions, wanting to know what you're doing, or trying to pull you back into her world. This shift isn't random, it's psychology. Women are used to being pursued. It's what they expect in modern dating. When you were giving attention, she didn't feel urgency because she assumed you would always be there. The moment your energy changes, she feels the possibility of losing something she didn't think she would lose. That creates pressure, and pressure creates action. You might see her calling instead of texting. She might bring up memories, mention inside jokes, or send messages like, "You've been quiet lately? Are you okay?" Or "We should hang out." She isn't doing this because she suddenly discovered feelings that didn't exist before. She's reacting to contrast. When your attention disappears, she starts comparing the way you used to treat her with the way you treat her now, and that comparison hits her ego first. Women don't like losing access to a man who once made them feel wanted, especially a man who has options, confidence, or a life outside of her. Your silence challenges her. It makes her question herself. It makes her wonder who else has your attention. That's why so many women return the moment you stop chasing. They aren't always coming back for you. Sometimes they're coming back for the version of themselves they felt when you wanted them. But here's where men slip up. When she returns with sweet messages, compliments, or sudden effort, most men fall right back into the old pattern. They reward her for coming back. They start giving attention again. They break the mystery. And the second she feels secure again, she goes back to the exact behavior that turned you off. So, what should you do? Stay calm. Don't rush. Don't jump back into the role of the chaser. If she wants your time now, let her earn it. Let her show consistency, not just emotional panic. A woman who truly sees your value will put in effort over time, not just for a few days. If her interest is real, it won't disappear when she feels safe again. When you don't chase her return, she learns that access to you has value. She understands that your attention isn't free. She realizes you're not the type of man who bends the second she shows interest. And that's when you gain more respect than you ever did while trying to impress her. Silence makes her wonder. Distance makes her think. Confidence makes her pursue. Two, she tries to make you jealous. When a woman feels your interest fading and she doesn't know how to pull you back, she may try another tactic, jealousy. This happens when her ego is hit harder than her emotions. Instead of asking what went wrong, instead of trying to reconnect in an honest way, she tries to create a reaction. She wants to know if she still has access to your emotions. She wants proof that she still matters. It can start quietly. She might post pictures looking extra done up. She might suddenly start going out more, tagging places, or showing herself, having fun. She may mention other men, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. Little comments like, my friend took me out to eat. Someone keeps asking me out. Or, you wouldn't believe who tried talking to me. Those are emotional bait. She doesn't care about the story, she cares about your reaction. If you respond with irritation, jealousy, or insecurity, she feels powerful again. She knows she still controls your mind, and once she has that control back, she no longer needs to change her behavior. She proved you still care, and she can drift back into her comfort zone. But if you stay unbothered, that's where her confidence cracks. See, women only use jealousy when they think you'll respond emotionally. If you stay calm, if you stay focused on your own life, if you don't try to compete or validate yourself, she starts to panic because suddenly the old tricks don't work. She can't pull you with attention. She can't pull you with absence. And she can't pull you with jealousy. That's when her mind starts racing. Is he seeing someone else? Did he move on? Was I not as important as I thought? Jealousy isn't always loud, sometimes it's subtle. A new guy in her comments, a guy in her stories, a post designed to get a reaction. Women know exactly how men think on social media. If she wanted to keep things private, she could. When she puts it out for you to see, it's intentional. So, how should you respond? You don't. Not with anger, not with jealousy, not with long paragraphs. The best response is no emotional response at all. You don't chase, argue, or try to prove your worth. You don't need to. When a man is silent in the face of jealousy, a woman loses the ability to control the situation. She realizes she misread you. She expected the old version of you. Instead, she got a confident man who refuses to compete for attention. And here's the thing, when jealousy doesn't work, she has two choices. She either steps up with real effort or she disappears. Both outcomes give you clarity. You don't want a woman who plays games to feel valuable. You want a woman who communicates, respects, and chooses you without needing tricks. Staying calm is power. Not reacting is power. Let her wonder. Let her think. You've already given enough. Now it's her turn to show something real. Three, she gets defensive and blames you. Another reaction you'll see when a woman realizes you've lost interest is defensiveness. Instead of admitting she pulled away, stopped putting in effort, or took you for granted, she flips the situation back onto you. Suddenly, you're acting different. You're cold. You're not communicating. She becomes the victim, and somehow you become the problem. Why does this happen? Because accountability hurts. When you stop chasing, she has to look at her own behavior. She has to face the fact that she gave the bare minimum and expected you to tolerate it. But instead of acknowledging it, she shields her ego by blaming you. It makes her feel in control. You'll hear phrases like, you're being distant, you've changed, you don't care anymore, maybe we should stop talking. These aren't real solutions. These are emotional reactions designed to pull you back into proving yourself. If she can make you feel guilty, she thinks you'll return to how things used to be. More effort from you and less effort from her. A woman who values you will say, I miss how things were. How can we fix it? A woman who only values attention says, you're the reason things changed. There's a big difference. When she becomes defensive, her goal isn't to strengthen the connection. Her goal is to regain the power she felt when you chased her. She wants to know you still care. She wants to know she still has you emotionally. And the quickest way to test that is by accusing you or starting an argument. The worst mistake a man can make here is over-explaining himself. Men start sending long texts trying to justify why they pulled back, trying to fix the situation. But the moment you do that, she wins the power back. Your effort becomes a reward for her behavior. So, how do you handle it? Stay calm, stay centered, don't get emotional, don't chase, and don't apologize for having self respect. You don't need to prove anything. If she wants to talk, she can communicate like an adult instead of throwing blame. If she wants to fix things, she will show effort, consistency, and maturity. When a woman is defensive, it shows she wasn't prepared for you to stop caring. It shows she assumed your attention was guaranteed. Your silence forces her to face a truth she didn't want to accept. You are not a man who stays where he feels undervalued. And here's where the psychology gets interesting. Defensiveness is usually followed by a decision. If she truly likes you, she will drop the attitude and step up. If she was only keeping you around for validation, she will pull away completely. Either way, you win. If she moves closer, you get clarity. If she leaves, you dodged a woman who only wanted attention, not connection. Your distance exposed her real intentions. That's something most men never get to see because they chase before the truth reveals itself. 4. She tests you to see if you still care. When a woman senses she's losing your attention, she might not chase, argue, or blame you. Instead, she tests you. Her goal isn't always to fix things. Sometimes she just wants to know whether she still has emotional control. These tests come in small, subtle ways that many men don't recognize, but every test has the same purpose. She wants to see if you will fold. It starts with simple things. She may respond slower to see if you get anxious. She may ignore a message to see if you double text. She may ask something she already knows the answer to just to watch how you react. If she can get you emotional, jealous, confused, or insecure, she knows she still has power. Women test men emotionally the same way men test themselves physically. One is checking strength, the other is checking control. You might hear questions like, "So, I guess you're too busy for me now? Who are you always hanging out with? Why are you acting different?" Those aren't real questions. They're emotional pressure points. She's trying to read your tone, your energy, your level of interest. If you get defensive or explain yourself deeply, she learns she can still influence you. If you stay calm and confident, she realizes the dynamic has changed. Another common test is distance. She might pull back on purpose just to see your reaction. She wants to know if you chase when she disconnects. If you panic, she feels secure again. If you don't react, it challenges her ego and forces her to wonder why her hold on you is fading. Some women test your patience. They cancel last minute, show inconsistent effort, or act unpredictable just to see if you will tolerate it. When you were attached, you might have accepted that behavior, but once you lose interest, you start valuing your time. If she tests you now and you don't bend, she realizes she underestimated you. So, how should a man handle these tests? With calmness, with maturity, with confidence, never with emotion. If she asks where you've been, you don't need to explain your entire schedule. If she pulls back, you don't chase. If she tries to create confusion, you don't fall for it. When a woman's tests fail, she has to switch strategies. She either puts in real effort or walks away. Both outcomes give you the truth. And here's what most men don't understand. A woman only tests a man she believes is worth keeping. If she truly didn't care, she wouldn't analyze you, question you, or monitor your behavior at all. These tests are her way of checking if you still see her as valuable. But now that the roles have shifted, she's the one trying to understand you. She's the one wondering what changed. She's the one trying to figure out if she still matters. Your silence becomes the test she can't control. Your patience becomes the lesson she didn't expect. Your confidence becomes the reason she feels the pressure. 5. She tries to control the story. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, one common reaction is something most men overlook. She tries to control how the situation looks to others. This happens when her ego feels threatened. It's not just about losing you, it's about not wanting anyone to think you walked away first. Women care deeply about the narrative. They don't want to seem rejected, abandoned, or replaced. So instead of admitting she didn't give enough effort, she'll rewrite the situation in a way that protects her pride. She might start telling friends that she stopped talking to you because you were too busy, too distant, too dry, or not serious. She wants to feel like she ended things first, even if that's not true. She might post quotes online about outgrowing people, moving on, or being happier without drama. She might suddenly act like she's focused on herself, her peace, her goals. It's a performance. She's sending a message to the world and indirectly to you. I'm not bothered. But here's the psychology behind it. When someone truly moves on, they don't need to announce it. They don't need to prove it. They don't need to perform it. When she tries to control the story, it's because your silence created discomfort. Deep down, she can't understand how you just stopped putting her at the center of your attention. And instead of accepting that you made that choice on your own, she rewrites the story to make herself feel powerful. Sometimes she does it quietly. She just starts acting like she doesn't care. She stops reacting, stops responding, acts unbothered. But there's a difference between being over something and pretending to be over it. Pay attention to what she actually does, not what she shows. Her behavior becomes inconsistent. One day she's cold, the next day she messages you again. One week she unfollows you, the next week she views all your stories. She's trying to convince herself that you didn't affect her. But if she was truly done, she wouldn't be watching you at all. Women hate losing emotional control. For a long time, she knew how much you wanted her. She knew you would always reach out, always try, always wait for her to come around. That gave her confidence. But when that confidence disappears, she looks for another way to keep power. Controlling the story allows her to avoid admitting the truth to herself and to others. So, what should you do if she starts acting this way? Nothing. You don't chase her, you don't defend yourself, and you don't try to change her mind. When you don't react, she loses the audience she was performing for. The silence forces her to think instead of pretend, and that's what makes the situation hit her deeper. She can control the story, but she can't control reality. The truth is simple. You pulled back because she didn't appreciate you. The moment she stops talking and starts proving, then you'll know whether anything real was ever there. 6. She comes back with sweetness and memory. When a woman realizes she's losing you and nothing else has worked, jealousy didn't move you, blame didn't shake you, distance didn't pull you, she switches to the most emotional tactic she has: sweetness. She becomes the version of herself you wanted from the beginning. Now she remembers the jokes, the moments, the way you made her feel. She suddenly wants to connect again, not through arguments or tests, but through warmth. This is when she sends, "Hey, stranger," or "I was thinking about you," or "Remember when we went to." She might send old photos, bring up shared memories, or randomly ask how you've been. She chooses things that remind you of the good moments because memories are powerful. They don't just make you think, they make you feel. Women know this. When a woman wants back in, she doesn't need a long speech. She needs a feeling. She wants to pull on the emotional thread that once tied you to her. That's why she acts caring, soft, and attentive. The woman who once gave you short replies is suddenly checking on your day. The woman who was always too busy suddenly has time. The woman who kept you waiting suddenly responds fast. And here's the truth most men ignore. She didn't become sweeter because she woke up with a new heart. She became sweeter because she realized she was losing her place in yours. Sudden affection is not the same as consistent effort. Some women reach out because they genuinely miss you. Others reach out because they miss the attention you used to give them. You can tell the difference by what happens after the first message. If she only checks in when she's bored, lonely, or needs validation, her effort disappears as soon as you show interest again. But if she keeps showing up, keeps asking to see you, keeps trying to rebuild trust, then she might be sincere. Men make a huge mistake here. They get excited. They think her kindness means she finally understands. So they jump right back in, giving her everything she once took for granted. And just like that, the balance shifts again. She no longer feels the pressure of losing you. The urgency disappears. The effort fades. If her feelings are real, she won't just be sweet, she'll be consistent. She will ask to spend time, not just talk. She will show up, not just say she misses you. She will act, not just feel. So, how do you handle the sweetness when it comes? You don't rush, you match energy, you take your time, you stay calm, confident, and grounded. If she wants back into your life, let her earn her place the same way you once earned hers. A man who is patient learns the truth. A man who is desperate repeats the past. If the sweetness is temporary, she'll disappear the moment she feels secure again. If it's real, it stays long after the conversation ends. 7. She realizes you were the prize. There comes a moment when everything finally hits her. Not when you stop texting, not when you go silent, not when she tries to make you jealous or pretend she doesn't care. It hits when she looks at your life and realizes you didn't fall apart without her. You didn't chase her. You didn't beg. You didn't sit around waiting. You got better. That's the moment she understands the truth she never wanted to face. You were the one with real value. A woman might ignore your effort when she feels secure. She might dismiss your kindness when she thinks she has options. She might take your presence for granted because she assumed you would always be there. But when she sees you living your life, improving, growing, laughing, working, training, winning, and moving forward without her, that's when she feels the difference between attention and value. Attention is easy to replace, value isn't. Women know when they let a good man slip away, they know when they misjudge someone, they know when they took someone for granted. And that realization doesn't come with fireworks. It comes quietly late at night when her ego is asleep and her honesty wakes up. She starts remembering the things you did that no one else ever did, the way you listened, the way you made her feel safe, the way you supported her, the way you wanted her when she didn't even know who she was yet. Now she compares you to the men she meets, men who don't care, men who only want attention, men who disappear after a day. Suddenly, the things you gave freely become rare. The effort you offered becomes valuable. The loyalty you showed becomes unforgettable. But here's the real shift. She doesn't just miss you, she respects you now. Because walking away from someone you cared about takes strength. Choosing yourself is power. And women feel that power even if they never say a word. Some will swallow their pride and try to come back. Others will stay silent because they don't want you to know they regret it. Either way, the truth is the same. Your absence taught her what your presence meant. And this is why men should never fear losing a woman who isn't willing to match their effort. When you pull back, you force life to reveal the truth. If she truly valued you, she will return with respect and consistency. If she didn't, she will disappear, but in both outcomes, you win. Because the moment she realizes you were the prize, something changes forever. Even if she never says it out loud, she knows she lost access to a man she could have grown with. A man who wanted her when she didn't have to earn it, a man who would have given her loyalty, love, and stability. So remember this, losing interest isn't weakness, it's self respect. It's choosing peace over confusion. It's choosing effort that goes both ways. When you walk away from someone who took advantage of your heart, you don't lose anything. You gain clarity, you gain strength, and you gain the freedom to find someone who recognizes your worth from the start. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, her reactions reveal everything her words never did. Some chase you, some test you, some pretend they don't care, and some finally show the effort you deserved. But the important thing is this, you didn't get weaker by stepping back. You got stronger. You stopped giving energy to someone who didn't match it. And whether she returns or disappears, you win. Because any woman who wants a place in your life must respect your time, your heart, and your value. A man who can walk away never loses.